Hi everyone, let's talk about Ring of Honor Final Battle, which was a very good show. Even though it was predictable, it was a very good show in my opinion. Let's talk about it. So Grizzly Young Veterans defeated Dark Order. John Silver wrestles with an injury arm string, so Grizzly Young Veterans target his leg to take control, and Silver hits an avalanche runner out of Simpsons and sets up the hot tag to Alex Reynolds, and Grizzly Young Veterans weather to the storm to sense a doomsday device on Reynolds after the kickout. Evil Uno causes a distraction with Mr. Brody Lee's papers, and Grizzly Young Veterans insult Evil Uno with the persistence that he was better than resorting to goofy jokes, and Sack Grimson rips up the paper, but Evil Uno had backup paper and hits James Drake, and Dark Order went to work for a German suplex to jackknife pin, but Jimson put Reynolds off in the pin, smashing his groin into the ring post, and Silver runs wild to his arm string give out, and Grizzly Young Veterans close with the grin your teeth finisher, and that's how they won. And that's how the Grizzly Young Veterans defeated the Dark Order. Then Echo and Conico defeated Harley Cameron, and the Stardom talent was in a sense giant, and Harley since an wizard, shining wizard, and kicks out by Hexico, and Harley was on the turnbuckle and screams "Fill the Rusin," and Hanako caught with a flying crossbody to the counter for a brutal backbreaker, and Hanako finishes with a Torter rack buster, and that's how she won. Then we had the Kingdom defeating the Infantry. I was thinking the Kingdom defeated the Infantry, and Sean Dean and Charlie Bravo had a bad attitude in attacking before the bell, and the floor of the match was a since Matt Devon hot tag to Mike Bennett, and since Mike Bennett hot tag to Devon, and when the Kingdom set up for a spike pile driver, Shane Taylor distracted the ref on the apron while Trish Adore shoved Devon off the turnbuckle, and the infantry hits the boot camp finisher on Bennett, but kicks out on the pin, and the Kingdom regains control of the win with a Rockstar Mercedes powerbomb and jumping Russian leg sweep combo, and that's how they won, and that's how the Kingdom defeated the Infantry. Then we had the 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 Gates of Agony defeating Lee Johnson and EJ Nuka. Meet showdown with EJ and Talaloa clobbering clotheslines and bouncing beef in the end, and Talaloa hits the mark on a running hip attack to EJ into the steel steps, and Johnson was on his own and Prince in the rally was crashing, and when Bishop Khan caught a Rana into a powerbomb, Johnson onto the ring steps, and Gates of Agony nails their double crucifix slam finisher and kicks out by Johnson, and Gates of Agony repeatedly power finisher, and Johnson did not kick out afterwards. Gates of Agony show respect to their opponents, and heel turn, and EJ blinds back I'll say again. Heel turn, and EJ blindsides Gates of Agony with a cheap shot, and Johnson joins in the attack to join. I'll say again. Johnson joins in the attack to show he is on the same page as EJ as bad guys, and that's what happened right there. And I'll repeat it again, guys. I'll repeat it again. So Johnson joins the attack and shows he's on the same page as EJ as bad guys, and EJ blindsides the Gates of Agony with a cheap shot, and Johnson joins in with the attack to show he's on the same page as EJ as a bad guy. Then we had the main card. That was the serial hour, guys. That was the serial hour of the final battle. Then we had Alenius Jr. defeating Mansoor with a surprise from Danhausen, and the CMLL luchador was caught off guard by Mansoor's sense style of striking pose, and Mason Madden lent a helping once too often. Enough was enough, and a masked man came out from underneath the ring to help Alexis Jr. and since pulls off his mask to reveal himself as Danhausen, and Danhausen gets a very nice, very evil since punch to mouth Madden, and Alexis Jr. turns the sight to pin Mansoor on a frog splash. Afterwards, Madden sends the luchador, and Danhausen curses the models. I'll say it again. Danhausen curses the models and attacks with the teeth, and that's what happened. And that's how Alexis Jr. defeated Mansoor with Danhausen's help. And then we had Shibata defeating Tommy Billison and Technical Wrestling Showcase, which was fun. And the Dynamite Kid fires up with a flying headbutt, but was too slow to cover on Shibata, rolls through the ropes, and Shibata times has come back with a splash of a sin strike, and Shibata jumps for a sleeper, and Tommy Billison still tough, so Shibata locks a body triangle, and Tommy ascends down to the mat and taps out to the sleeper, and that's how Shibata defeated Tommy Billiken. Then we had Jay Legal defeating QT Marshall. Was a decent match right here, and let's talk about it. So foreshadowing, I'll say it again. Foreshadowing for Legal to arrive as black you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say, guys. Jay Legal arrives as a black, you know what I'm saying, macho man thing, you know what I'm saying? I'll say it again. So Jay Legal arrives as a black macho, and Jay Legal lifts QT's wife from the, Miss Elizabeth's pose, and Jay Legal and Sajay Dunn has simply figure four on QT, and Aaron Solo treated an attack since, and Karen Jarrett and Jeff Jarrett came out to hit Solo with the guitar, and QT kicks out of the flying elbow, and he's rallying to hit the crossroads and the legal ejection. Neither move could keep Legal down for the count. In the end, Jay Legal hits the legal ejection twice in a row to pin QT, and that's what happened right there. Then we had the Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship, Red Velvet defeating Leon Hirsch to retain the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. And first fight, near fall comes on a springboard moonsault from Leah Hirsch and a spinning head kick from Red Velvet. And then Leah Hirsch swords an armbar, and Red Velvet power bombs her away out after a few stiff strikes and couldn't keep Leah Hirsch down. And Red Velvet rolls outside to pick up a cinch from under the apron, and she ascends a turnbuckle into the ring, which the ref simply since, and it was a Roots. Red Velvet pulls a shrift out of her tongues and hits Leah Hirsch for the win, and a heel turn from Red Velvet, which was fun, guys, a fun match. Then we had Lee Moriarty facing Nigel McGuinness, which was a great match, and a good open challenge, Nigel McGuinness, that was great. That was just great. Let's talk about it, guys. The Ring of Honor Pure Championship, Lee Moriarty defeated Nigel McGuinness to retain the Ring of Honor Pure title, and Nigel was the surprise to enter the open challenge. He wanted the old school Pure rules, and Nigel was up to classic tacks, and he shoves Lee into the ropes on a twist lock, and the refs ruled that as a rope break, and when both men were in change in a lockup that catches the ropes and posing and since into between, Nigel flips and claims that Lee hits him with a closed fist, and posing took the bait and took away a rope break from Lee, and Shane Taylor demands the ref to come out as backup as to keep the eye on Nigel's cheating, and Lee Moriarty regroups to out wrestle Nigel with submissions, and Nigel used all three of his rope breaks, and Lee three rope break comes in a tacky decision, and Nigel pins Lee, but Lee places his feet on the ropes and pulls I'll repeat it again, guys. Sorry about the connection. But Nigel McGuinness pins Lee, but Lee plants his feet on the ropes of Since and doesn't see it and counts three. However, and the ref was on the spot to overrule his challenging, and the match continues in the end. And Lee Moriarty strapped Nigel in the Border City Crunch, and Nigel couldn't escape, so he tapped out, and that's how Lee Moriarty won with the Border City Crunch and defeated Nigel McGuinness by submission. Then we had the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara defeating the Righteous, Vincent and Dutch to retain the titles, and Texas Rules, and Dustin was tied to Dutch, and Sammy was tied to Vincent, and the first big spot was Dustin punching Dutch off the turnbuckles, and crushes to a barbed wire table, and Sammy crushes into Bernie, climbing to a ladder for a forward suicide through a table when Vincent moves out of the way, and the Righteous doubles teams Dustin and sends a slim bread, and Sammy makes the save on the pin, and Dustin rallies for a Texas Destroyer to Dutch. Well, Sammy hits the GTH to Vincent outside, and Sammy passes over Dustin Rhodes' bell. I'll say it again. Passes over Dustin Rhodes' I'll say it again. Cowbell. I'll say it again. Sammy passes over Dustin Rhodes' cowbell for Dustin to crack Dutch for the win, and that's how Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes retained the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships and defeated the Righteous. Then we had a fun match right here. This was a fun match. This was the match of the night, in my opinion. The match of the night. Even though Commander's hurt, this was a good match. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about it, guys. So the Ring of Honor World Television Championship, Commander defeats Brian Cage and Willie Mack and Mark Davis, and Commander and AR Fox and Blake Christian to win the title, and their sense of the fitness free for all elimination style, and Cage enters as champion. Brian Cage enters as champion, and no stop cool blues from start to finish. And Willie Mack was the first to be pinned a Prince blindside to sits lariat from Brian Cage, and AR Fox was second to be eliminated by Brian Cage and catches him from an avalanche powerbomb. Holy shit! And then the Davis appearance Brian Cage for a pile driver elimination, and since a new champion, and Blake Christian assists Mark Davis with a low blow to pin the Aussie, and the finish was down to Blake Christian and Commander for both single match, and Commander rolling for a springboard Mexican Destroyer at 619, and rolls walking shooting star press to win, and the crowd blows off in exciting as assignment for Commander's win. Then this idea. Chris Jericho retaining the Ring of Honor World Championship. I think it should have not happened. I know I like Chris Jericho, but I don't like his gimmick that he's been having, that learning tree thing. But I think Matt Cardona should have won the Ring of Honor title. That's just my opinion, but it was still a good match, but Matt Cardona should have won, but that's just my opinion. Chris Jericho enters to New York. New York sings for Since with dancing women and likes the wrist, and Chris Jericho flips the bird on the Code of Honor handshake as they sense the crowd, and Matt Cardona hits the first move of the ring for the radio silence finisher and kicks out by Chris Jericho, and Since match with Since pin as Chris Jericho pins Matt Cardona, and Since panels Matt Cardona, and Since picks up for a big move down the stretch, and Matt Cardona hits the radio silence, but Big Bill distracts the ref, and Matt Cardona has a clear 7 count on the pin, and Brian Keith enters the ring and hits Matt Cardona with the title belt, and Chris Jericho makes the pin to win, and the Learning Tree steps Matt Cardona after the match, and Bandito makes a surprise return for the save, and Bandito returns, just great when Bandito returned, man, great stuff. And Dantonhausen, that was great stuff, man. And then we had the main event. Athena versus Billy Starks, I can't believe it. I can't believe Athena is still champion. She's been champion for like almost 3 years, I believe, 2 or 3 years. 2 or 3 years, and she's still champion. Man, let's talk about it, though. Let's talk about it. So, Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. Athena defeated Billy Starks to retain. Drama since Billy Starks has since for an Alabama slam on the apron for a flying suicide into the floor, and the Star 10 finishers, and Athena kicks out of the corner, and the Sims champ hits a suicide dive onto Starks, and the ref with the ref down, and Athena calls to Leah Lurch for the microphone as a prince since, and Billy Starks blocks the cheap shot since an electric chair driver, and the ref was little slow back at the ring to start the count, and Athena kicks out at 2, and since and Athena rips off the middle turnbuckle pad, and Billy Starks charges the attack, and Athena slips the knee, and she works the whole match, and Billy Starks collides into the exposed steel, and old face flying stunner to win, and that's how she won. Beautiful, just beautiful, just beautiful. And then Athena retains, and that's what happened right there. And then after the match, Athena laughs at Billy Starks crying at the mat, and that's what happened right there, guys. And I give this show an 8 out of 10. An 8 out of 10, guys. An 8 out of 10. I give this final battle an 8 out of 10, guys. An 8 out of 10. So this is Christopher Jackson Denver. I was again. This is Christopher Jackson Denver. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bells as always, guys. And peace out and take care, guys. Peace out and take care. Peace out and take care.